When The Fifth Element was first pitched, many studio executives found it far too bizarre and unmarketable. They couldn't wrap their heads around its strange fusion of slapstick comedy, explosive action, futuristic philosophy, and cosmic spirituality. It was a film that dared to be different, and at the time, that was a risk very few in Hollywood were willing to take. But now, decades later, the cast has come forward with revelations that could change everything fans thought they knew about. This vibrant, genre-defying masterpiece. The truth is, this movie came dangerously close to never being made at all. What many fans don't realize is that The Fifth Element was trapped in development limbo for more than 10 years. Director Luc Besson's ambitious and visually outrageous vision of Earth in the 23rd century was too eccentric for most major Hollywood studios. Studio after studio turned it down, labeling it as overly European, prohibitively expensive, and too confusing for American audiences, who were accustomed to more traditional linear sci-fi narratives. Bruce Willis would later confess that when he read the script, it was unlike anything he had ever encountered. Besson's vision wasn't just bold, it was utterly insane in the best way possible. He wanted to build a futuristic world that felt lived in like a comic book, yet also mystical and unpredictable. But studio heads couldn't fathom how such a combination could work commercially. The only reason the project survived at all was thanks to Besson's recent success with Leon, the Professional, which gave him enough clout to push forward. Unwavering passion for the material carried the movie through years of rejection. Actress Milla Jovovich later revealed that even her casting as Leeloo was controversial within the studio system. At the time, she was still primarily seen as a model, not a serious actress, capable of carrying a major science fiction epic. Executives pushed for a more conventional action star, but Besson refused. To him, Leeloo had to be otherworldly someone, whose energy, innocence, and strength couldn't be found in traditional Hollywood archetypes. Her character required an approach that was as unconventional as the story itself. And then there was the incredible world-building New York in the year 2263. This wasn't just a digital rendering or a CGI experiment. The towering cityscapes, flying cars, and vertical skyscrapers were brought to life using groundbreaking miniature models and practical effects. These revolutionary techniques raised the bar for futuristic storytelling. According to the cast, working in this physically immersive environment was unlike anything they'd experienced. Bruce Willis explained that the flying car sequences weren't filmed with green screens. The actors were actually suspended high above the ground, complete with wind machines and rigging, simulating real aerial movement. The massive sets made him feel small, like an insect navigating a completely foreign world. These physical environments not only grounded the film in realism, but also deeply enhanced the actors' performances. Ian Holm recalled how every surface and prop had real texture and weight, making it easier for the cast to feel truly embedded in the strange world Besson created. One of the most iconic and emotionally charged aspects of the film was Leeloo's language, a divine tongue crafted specifically for her character. Jovovich revealed that she and Besson worked together for months to develop it, going beyond vocabulary to create a grammar, cadence, and emotional flow. It wasn't just a made-up language, it had structure, purpose, and soul. The divine language wasn't meant to be translated. Instead, it was designed to be felt emotionally by the audience. Her speech added depth to her alien identity, while still making her emotionally relatable. According to Jovovich, Leeloo's purity wasn't childish naivety. It was the unfiltered perspective of someone seeing humanity's potential for both beauty and destruction with fresh eyes. Untouched by cultural baggage, Bruce Willis shared how Milla's dedication to mastering this fictional language inspired the rest of the cast. Her fluency made Leeloo feel like a real being from another dimension. During scenes where she spoke, it felt like a genuine interspecies communication. Audiences had to rely on body language, tone, and emotion rather than subtitles, which added a more immersive and intuitive layer to the film's storytelling than there was. Gary Oldman's unforgettable turn as Jean-Baptiste, Emmanuel Zorg. His performance wasn't just another villainous role, it was biting satire aimed directly at the heart of corporate greed and capitalist excess. Oldman revealed that he wanted Zorg to be a character who truly believed in his own twisted logic, that chaos and destruction weren't evil, but opportunities for growth. This made Zorg far more terrifying than your average sci-fi antagonist. He embodied the philosophy of business gone mad, someone who justified planetary destruction in the name of economic progress. In fact, Zorg's infamous monologue about destruction creating jobs was partially improvised. Oldman had researched how corporate leaders often rationalize mass layoffs and environmental ruin, and simply pushed that logic to its most extreme end. Bruce Willis noted how Oldman's bureaucratic villainy gave the entire film a more unsettling tone. Zorg's calm, almost casual attitude toward death made him more disturbing than any loud or aggressive antagonist. His performance was a stark commentary on how institutionalized evil often masks itself as efficiency and professionalism. One of the most unforgettable sequences in the entire movie was the opera scene with the blue alien Diva Plavalaguna. But what seemed like a visual and musical spectacle was actually the film's emotional and spiritual climax. The opera aria performed was intentionally written to be unachievable by the human voice. Without digital assistance, it was meant to sound alien. Yet the emotion had to remain universal and deeply human. Besson wanted audiences to understand the scene not through lyrics, but through the raw feeling it conveyed. Bruce Willis reflected on the duality of that moment, while Plavalaguna delivered transcendent music. Violence erupted just beyond the stage. It was a deliberate juxtaposition, showing that beauty and horror often coexist in the same space. Milla Jovovich said that filming the sequence required perfect synchronization, every musical note, every fight movement, and every emotional beat had to align to give the illusion of time standing still, allowing for a moment of pure transcendence amid chaos. Chris Tucker's flamboyant portrayal of Ruby Rhod brought yet another layer to Besson's social commentary. At first glance, Ruby seemed like comic relief, but he was actually a futuristic satire of media culture pushed to the brink of absurdity. Tucker revealed that he drew inspiration from over-the-top talk show hosts, eccentric rock stars, and flashy game show personalities, then amplified it beyond recognition. Ruby was a walking, talking commentary on society's obsession with spectacle, attention, and entertainment at all costs. Much of Ruby's iconic on-air interview with Corbin Dallas was improvised. Tucker said the goal was to show how media turns even life-threatening situations into entertainment. Ruby's presence disrupted every scene, just as real-life media figures dominate and distort every conversation they enter. According to Willis, Tucker's energy changed the dynamic on set. His rhythm forced other actors to adjust their timing, mirroring how media personalities reshape narratives just by showing up. At the heart of The Fifth Element was the unexpected and deeply symbolic romance between Corbin and Leeloo. This wasn't just another sci-fi love story. It was a reflection of humanity's potential for redemption and growth through love. Willis explained that his character had to fall for someone who embodied perfect love itself, someone divine. That meant transforming from a jaded, battle-worn soldier into someone who could see hope and purpose through love's eyes. Jovovich added that Leeloo learned about human emotion through Corbin. Her experience with love was both educational and spiritual. The idea that their connection could save the universe wasn't just sentimental, it was a statement about love. As a cosmic, life-preserving force, Ian Holmes summed it up best. The Fifth Element wasn't just about romantic love. It symbolized the power of authentic human connection to overcome destruction and entropy. Love wasn't just emotion. It was creation, healing, and the only force strong enough to keep the universe intact. Jean Paul Gaultier's costume design played a massive role in making Besson's world believable. These weren't just funky, futuristic outfits, they were expressions of class, culture, and identity. Every piece of clothing served a narrative function. Leeloo's now iconic multi-pass outfit wasn't just a catching, it made sense in the world of the story. Jovovich noted that the designs, while strange, were culturally coherent within the movie's universe. Willis observed that just looking at someone's clothing in the film told you everything about who they were. Even Oldman said that Zorg's stiff, plastic outfit helped him feel emotionally detached exactly. The mindset of someone who sees destruction as nothing more than progress. Beneath its dazzling visuals and high-octane sequences, The Fifth Element is a philosophical story masked as a comic book epic. Ian Holm revealed that Luc Besson's core question was whether humanity deserves to go on, given its ability to both create astonishing beauty and inflict devastating harm. The Supreme Being's test wasn't about might or power, it was about choosing love over fear and creation over destruction. The classical elements earth, air, fire, water combined with love as the mysterious fifth element, drew from ancient traditions that saw love as the force that binds and sustains the universe. Willis explained that each character embodied a different response to existence: fear, greed, love, selflessness. Which path would humanity follow? Jovovich said. Those themes informed her performance as much as any line of dialogue. When viewed through this lens, The Fifth Element transforms from colorful action spectacle to spiritual allegory, one that suggests humanity can transcend its darkest impulses through love, awareness, and connection. So the next time you watch The Fifth Element, look beyond the wild costumes, flying cars, and outrageous personalities. Pay attention to how every detail, from the divine language to the explosive opera, from Zorg's twisted logic to Corbin and Leeloo's sacred bond, feeds into the larger message that love is humanity's greatest power and its only path to survival. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of cinema's most visually groundbreaking and philosophically rich films, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more. Tap the notification bell so you never miss a future upload. Let us know in the comments which element of The Fifth Element still leaves you amazed.